Moving on to next paragraph. The news of Gandhiji's advent. Advent here means arrival, coming to, and of the nature of his mission, with what purpose he was coming there, spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. People have come to know that a man has come. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot. They were coming to by walking and by conveyance, by taking the conveyance to see their champion. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They all came there to tell him the reality. They frequently represented peasant group in court because they have fought their cases in the court. They told him that their cases and about the cases and reported the size of their fee. They also told Mahatma Gandhi how much money they have charged from these peasants. Mahatma Gandhi chided. Chided here means scolded, danced the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. He said, I have come to the conclusion from all the things which you told me, I have come to the point that we should stop going to law courts. For such cases, we need not to go to the courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. It is of no use where the peasants are so crushed. Crushed means they are suppressed and fear stricken. They are so much afraid. Law courts are useless. They can't represent themselves in the courts. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. The first thing which there should be to make them free from this fear. Most of the arable land. Now read this thing very carefully. What was that agreement now for which Mahatma Gandhi has come here? Arable means agricultural land in Champaran district was divided into large estates and divided into different parts. So according to them, they were to harvest on them, owned by Englishmen. Just imagine, the land is there in India, Indian land. The owners are now Britishers because they are ruling over us, and the Indians, they have become tenant, kiraedar, and worked by Indian farmers. The chief commercial crop was indigo. They used to plant only one thing, indigo, which you call it's the color now. You must have seen at your home when your mother washes the clothes, give blue color in the water to the white clothes especially. That neil is known as indigo. The landlord compelled all tenants to plant 3/20th. Now just try to understand what is this 3/20th. That means 15% of their land. Suppose this is the land, I tell you, and you can roughly divide it into these parts and all that. So 15% of that land, suppose this is 15%, this land is to be planted with indigo only. That means, I tell you, for this much area, if you are planting on 15% the indigo, and the entire crop, whatever comes out, that is to be given to the British government as the rent, working on their own land. Is that clear? They are the owners, but now they are under Britishers. Britishers are the owner now. They are to harvest indigo, and the entire crop of indigo planted on this 15% of the land is to be given to the Britishers as rent, as working on their lands. Now what the problem is? The problem is, once you plant indigo on this area 15%, it will become barren, banjar, which you call. First time, the moment you plant indigo and takes the crop, after that it's of no use, the land is of no use. So the problem is, 1 year 15% is out of the work. Next year again, on this rest of the land 85%, 15% of that you will plant indigo again next year, and again the crop is to be given, the entire harvest is to be given to the Britishers as the rent. So now this much land has become useless, barren. You can't plant anything on this area. And third year, again on the rest of this land 15% of this is to be planted with indigo. So you can imagine, with 5, 6 or 7 years, the entire land will become barren. The farmer will not be able to plant anything more, anything else on that. Then what he will do? How he will look after the family? How he will get the crop to eat something? So that was the agreement which was really irksome, which was really troublesome for the peasants. So this was the problem for which he has come to Champaran. So now understand, 3/20 or 15% of their holding with indigo, they will plant indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent yield to the government. This was done by the long-term contract. This was the agreement. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Everything was going on finely, but all of a sudden, Germany developed artificial indigo. Synthetic indigo means artificial indigo. So planting this original indigo was of no benefit now. They thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation from being released from the 15% agreement. Now they made a plan. They had a trick in their mind, the Britishers. They forced the planters to give them the compensation to release them. That if they don't want to plant indigo on their land, so they have to give money to the Britishers to relieve them from this agreement. The sharecropping agreement was irksome. It was so troublesome to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Knowingly, willingly, happily, some peasants signed because they couldn't understand this agreement. They, you can say, were illiterate, ignorant. They signed the agreement. Those who resisted, those who were against, engaged lawyers. They arranged lawyers, and the landlords hired thugs because they were the criminals. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants. And meantime, those who have signed the agreement, now they have come to know what they have done. What wrong has been done with him. Now they wanted their money back. उनको भी पैसा वापस चाहिए. At this point, this was the reason Gandhiji arrived in Champaran. If you come to know what was the reason of Gandhi's coming to Champaran, so you are to take out the answer from all these lines. What was the reason? He began by trying to get the facts. He just tried to collect the facts. First, he visited the secretary of British Landlord Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Now why? Because they don't know he is not an outsider. Rather, he is an Indian. He is a lawyer. Because he has come to India recently, Gandhiji answered that he was no outsider. Next, Gandhiji called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhat division. Of that division, he went to meet the British commissioner in which Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhiji reports, Gandhiji told himself, he proceeded to bully him. He started calling him bad names, Gali Galoch, and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhat. And he advised me in a form of an order to leave the Tirhat division. Gandhi did not leave. He said, no, I am not going to leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. So many lawyers were there with Mahatma Gandhi. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. A huge crowd welcomed Mahatma Gandhi at the railway station. He went to the house and using it as headquarters. He had taken a small house, made it the office, continued his investigation. From there, he started working. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in the nearby village. Maltreated means ill-treated, मारपीट करना, किसी के साथ बुरा behave करना. So Gandhiji has come to know, so he decided to go and see the next morning. Okay, we'll go tomorrow and see it. He started out on the back of an elephant. On the next day, he had not proceeded far. He has not gone so far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him. They came on the way and ordered him to return to town and asked Mahatma Gandhi to go back to the town, need not to go to that village. But Mahatma Gandhi said no, he was not in the favor, and in his carriage Gandhiji complied. The messenger drove Gandhiji home, where he was served with the official notice. He went to the office and where he was given a notice, official notice to quit, to leave Champaran immediately. Gandhiji signed the receipt. He received the order for the notice and wrote on it on the receiving copy. We have always have a photocopy to get the receiving that you have received the orders. He wrote on that and would disobey the order. Signed the copy and asked that I won't obey this order. In consequence, as a result, Gandhi received a summon to appear in court the next day. He got a legal notice from the court to appear in the court next day because he disobeyed the government orders. That's all for today.